Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here, continuing to cook up this NFL action, man. We're in NFL Week 7. Hey, time is flying on by. We were profitable in Week 6. Really good week last week in Week 6. We're profitable, positive units for the entire season. We're trying to keep the momentum rolling forward into this weekend. If you're new here, we go through every single game on the card right here for free, man. We've been doing it through the preseason, and we're going all the way through the NFL Super Bowl. So if this is something you like, think this is some content you will enjoy, smash that like button for your guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and buckle up, man. Let's make some money this weekend, man. I am super excited. We got a really great card. My favorite plays, the plays that I have the most money on, the plays that I'm most comfortable with, those are my premium bets. If you want those, if you're rocking with me, rock with me. There's a link in the description. Takes you to my handicapper page right over at Pickdawgz Premium, and you can purchase those there. But again, we're going to go through every game right here, right now. Again, I appreciate every last one of y'all joining me. Without further ado, man, let's make some money this weekend. Let's keep the momentum rolling forward, and let's hop right into NFL Week 7 action. All right, first game of the week, we got the Cleveland Browns out on the road facing the Indianapolis Colts. The Cleveland Browns had one of the more surprising wins last week, man, upsetting the San Francisco 49ers, not only covering the point spread, but beating them boys outright. Not many people saw that coming. I had the Browns plus the points, but outright I didn't think was possible, but they did it, man, with a backup quarterback. And off of such a huge win for this program, I got to fade them the next week, man. I have to. I wouldn't feel comfortable landing the points with the Browns after a huge win like that. Deshaun Watson listed as questionable for this game. If he's in or not, I don't care. I'm still going to be taking the Colts. I've seen this line now go from 3, as you see on the screen, up to 3.5. I now love getting that hook with the Indianapolis Colts. It's a perfect buy low spot. They got beat pretty handedly last week by a divisional opponent, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cleveland off the dominant win. Not dominant win, but upset win over the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's a great buy low spot here on the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're a live home dog here in this one. The Browns defense is legit, one of the best in the NFL. And I do think they can and will create some problems for Gardner Minshew, but I think that the Colts defense will be able to do the same for this Cleveland Browns team. I'm taking the Colts here. I think they do enough offensively to keep this game competitive, and I would not be shocked at all if Indy won this game outright at home. Give me the points here with the Colts. Next game up, we got the Buffalo Bills out on the road facing the New England Patriots. The Patriots, man, they're in one of the worst seasons in recent memory. I actually think this is the worst team I've ever seen under Bill Belichick, quite honestly. This team is banged up. They have a bad quarterback. They don't have any help wide receivers. This is a bad football team. Their best 2 guys defensively are out for the season, Judon Gonzalez. I know they're at home, but I'm not catching a falling knife here with the New England Patriots. I'm going to be laying the points here with the Buffalo Bills. This should be a bounce back spot for them. Y'all know, if you follow me for any duration of time, I'm not high on Josh Allen. I'm not high on this Buffalo Bills team overall, but I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered here. The New England Patriots, 1-5 straight up, 1-5 against the number. When Mac Jones is listed as an underdog and you fade him, you've been very profitable, made a ton of money. As a favorite, the Patriots usually win when they're listed as a favorite. When they're a dog, they usually never cover the point spread, and I don't see them covering it here. This should be a comfortable win for the Bills, 10-13, maybe 2 touchdowns. We're on the road in this one, and Buffalo has had its hiccups, but I think they're definitely the much better team. Not catching a falling knife with the worst Patriots team I've seen in recent memory, and they're banged up with a bad quarterback. Can't do it. Give me Buffalo. I'm going to lay the points here in this one. Next game up, we got the Washington Commanders out on the road facing the New York Giants. This line has grown. This line is now Washington laying the 3. And now getting the full field goal with the Giants, sign me up. And I'm also going to take them straight up on the money line, try to give me some plus money, man. This one's short, sweet, and simple for me. The Giants, they're not as bad as 1-5, I don't think. And the Commanders, they're not as good as 3-3. And here's what I mean when I say that. When I go look at the Giants' recent schedule, they've played, in my opinion, the top tier teams in the NFL. recently. They played the Buffalo Bills out on the road. Of course they're going to lose. They played the Miami Dolphins out on the road. Of course they're going to lose. They played the San Francisco 49ers out on the road. Of course they're going to lose. Those are 3 of the top 10 teams in the NFL. We don't expect the Giants to go in there and compete with those teams. The Commanders on the other side, I know they got a loss to Buffalo as well, and a loss to Philly, but the loss that speaks the most volume to me is that Thursday night at home, they lose to the Chicago Bears dominantly. It's not like it was a close game, like they were in it. No, they got ran off the football field 40-20 by the Chicago Bears. In my opinion, one of the worst teams in the NFL. A Chicago Bears team that's only won 1 game in their last 19. That's as bad as it gets. I know the Giants are banged up. Daniel Jones still questionable. Saquon probably won't play, I think, last time I checked. But here's what I'm going to say. I think those guys do play. And even if they don't, I still think the Giants can win this game straight up. I think the Commanders are that bad. I'm not sold on the Commanders in any capacity. I'm looking to fade this team. There's no reason this team should be favored over anybody. Again, I know it sounds like I'm hating, but I'm not. The Commanders' wins this year are the Cardinals, the Broncos, and the Falcons. The Cardinals and the Broncos are 2 bottom 28 teams in the league. The Falcons, they're middle of the pack team. I got to fade the Commanders. I'm taking the Giants. I think they're a live dog at home here in this one. Next game up, we got the Detroit Lions out on the road facing the Baltimore Ravens. I think this is one of the best games on the card this weekend, man. Ravens at the crib, laying 3. It's going to be a really good game, man. The Lions 5-1 and 5-1 against the number. This has been the best team for your pocketbook the last 3 seasons in the NFL. If you've been betting the Lions in that time span, you've made quite a bit of change. And I understand why people would want to take them here as an underdog. This is usually the spot where they absolutely feast right here, getting points. But I got to fade them one more time, man. I know. But I got to fade the Lions here. I just think this is a really bad spot for them. Out on the road, AFC opponent. Really solid defense for the Ravens. The Lions are really banged up right now. They're not as healthy as they have been in weeks past. I think this is the fall flat spot. I do think the Lions are going to be right there in the mix of, all the teams in the NFC, can possibly even push for the number 1 seed when it's all said and done at the end of the season. With how their division is shaking out, how bad the teams in their division are. But I'm telling you, I just really feel like this is a bad spot for the Lions on the road, going up against a Ravens team who is getting healthy. They're at home. They're hungry. They looked decent last week. They avenged the loss from 2 weeks ago. I got to lay the points with the Ravens here in this one. I think the Ravens win this football game. I think it's a bad spot for Detroit. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to lay the points with the Ravens here at home in this one. Next game up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders out on the road facing the Chicago Bears. Raiders laying now 2.5 over the Bears on the road. And this one's short, sweet, and simple for me. Instead of laying the 2.5, I'm just going to take Raiders money line. I'm not even going to overcomplicate it. I don't want to be on a bad number or anything like that. But I do think the Raiders win this game. Reason I think that is the Bears have won 1 game, I want to say, in their last 19. Y'all heard my rant at the top of the show. They also have a backup quarterback, Tyson Bagnick, getting the start for Justin Fields. This is a guy that didn't even play D1 college football. He didn't impress me last week. What has changed for the Bears? Nothing. I actually think they're worse off than they have been in some of the games past. I like Aiden O'Connell. I like Josh Jacobs. I like Devontae Adams. I like Max Crosby. This Raiders team has the more talent. I think Josh McDaniels more often than not puts his team behind the 8 ball, but I think Matt Eberflus does as well. So to wash everywhere here, I'm going with the team that has won games, the team that has the better talent. It's a pure fade of Chicago Bears. Give me the Raiders straight up on the money line. Don't even overcomplicate this one. I think this is one of the easiest plays on the board. Next game up, we got the Atlanta Falcons out on the road facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got the Bucs laying 2.5 at the house, man. Both teams lost last week. The Bucs were at the crib. The Detroit Lions came in there and kind of put it on them, man, 20-6. The Atlanta Falcons lost at home. First home loss for Desmond Ridder in his collegiate and NFL career as they lost to the Washington Commanders. Sets up as a very interesting game here. Division game. I think in the grand scheme of things, this game is going to mean a lot at the end of the season. I think the three teams in the NFC South are all going to finish 8-9. The Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons. And these head-to-head games in the division are going to mean a ton at the end of the season. Here's my thought process on the game. I would take the Falcons plus the 2.5, and I would pray that we wake up in the morning and get 3. I would rather have the full field goal. I just think points in this series are really valuable. This game is going to be a nail-biter all the way down to the end, and I just rather have the points in my back pocket. That's my thinking here in this one. I also would lean towards the under. I think the two best units on both teams are the defenses. I think the Atlanta Falcons defense is underrated. I think we know what the Bucks defense is, pretty legit. I would look at a sneaky under, low, very low total. I just don't think either offense moves the football that effectively. I think the defense is coming to play. I think points are a premium here in this one. I think both of these teams are heading for a losing season, but it might be enough to get them in the postseason. This game's going to mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. I'd rather have the points in my back pocket. Give me the Falcons plus the points. Hope we get 3 tomorrow, and I would also look at an under 38. Here it is. Next game up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers out on the road facing the Los Angeles Rams. We got the Rams laying 3 points at the crib. I'm taking the Steelers plus the points in this one. Here's why. I'm getting the Hall of Fame coach Mike Tomlin with a great defense, coming off a bye, going up against a team I think is now overvalued in the Los Angeles Rams. I was high on the Rams coming into the season, higher than most. Many people thought this Rams team would be one of the worst in the NFL again. I said, nah, I think this team is going to be about middle of the pack. They got a really great play caller. They got a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Matthew Stafford. This team's not going to be as bad as many people think. But now, I think they're a bit overvalued, man. And I think that getting this Steelers team coming off a bye, a Steelers team that really I don't even think we've seen the best of yet. I think we'll get them coming in here at a nice price as an underdog. I think they have a legitimate shot to win this one outright. I just see T.J. Watt coming off this edge really creating some problems for Matthew Stafford. I don't think Nakua has quite the same game that we've been seeing him have in weeks past. Cooper Kupp still doesn't look the same. I can see Kenny Pickett having a full week to prepare for this Rams defense, having a solid week. I know everybody loves to joke about Matt Canada and how he needs to lose his job. But, I think it just creates value on the Steelers and getting them as a dog plus 3 off a bye, Hall of Fame head coach, legitimate defense. Sign me up. Give me the Steelers plus the points. I think they're a live dog in this one. I might sprinkle some straight up on the money line here in this one. Next game up, we got the Arizona Cardinals out on the road facing their divisional opponent, the Seattle Seahawks. This line is now moved up to 8 points as well, and I think that's just creating value on the other side. I'm taking the Cardinals, man. I know the Cardinals are one of the worst teams in the NFL, but we're not betting straight up, man. We're betting point spreads, and I just don't feel comfortable laying 8 points with this Seattle Seahawks offense. I'm sorry. I'm not high on Geno Smith, and I haven't really been impressed with the Seahawks over the totality of the season when we look at it in hindsight. They lost week 1 to the Rams. The Rams are a middle-of-the-pack team. The Seattle Seahawks are supposed to be better than them. They lost at home to that team. They beat the Lions. That is a really, really, really good win. I'm not taking anything from that win. That is a very solid win. Did it on the road. Other than that win, though, everything else is out the window. Beat the Panthers by 10. The Panthers are probably the worst team in the NFL. And it really wasn't that pretty the way they did it. Beat up on the Giants, that's solid, but we've seen the Giants get beat on a ton of times this season, so does it mean much in the grand scheme of things? No. And then they lost last week to a Bengals team that's starting to get its footing back. I know many of you guys are going to say, well, we've seen them cover against 2 bad teams, the Panthers and the Giants, and there is some validity to that. But I don't think we've seen the Panthers or the Giants compete quite like the Cardinals have in certain spots, man. And again, this is a division game. I've liked what I've seen from the Cardinals. Every game the Cardinals have played in this year, they have fought. I know they're 3-3 ATS, but to be 1-5 and 3-3 ATS, I think it's solid. I think the Cardinals do enough to keep this game within the point spread. That's just what I think, man. I think the Seahawks probably win this game on a walk-off field goal. I think that's how tightly this game is going to be. Getting over a field goal with the Cardinals, I think is a very solid place to be. I don't see the Seahawks blowing them out. Give me the Cardinals again this week, plus the points. Next game up, man, we got the Green Bay Packers out on the road facing the Denver Broncos. I really like this weekend's NFL card, man. I think I could legitimately bet every single game on this card except for this one. I don't want to catch a falling knife. Short, sweet, simple. Are the Broncos going to go winless against the spread for the season? Of course not. They're not. Does that mean that I want to catch the falling knife, try to finally be on them when they do cover? Of course not. I could see this possibly being a spot for them getting their first win of the season. I don't want to touch it, though. If I were actually to bet this game, I would probably lean Green Bay, and it just has to do everything with this Broncos defense. It's one of the worst in the NFL. They looked okay last week on the road against Kansas City. I think it was a little bit of fool's gold in that one, though. Still didn't end up covering the point spread. I don't want to bet the Broncos, man. Russell Wilson is playing for his numbers. You know what I mean if you've been watching Broncos games this season. There's times in the game where you're like, bro, you should have threw that away. But he didn't because he's trying to make the stats seem better than what they are. I don't think that's winning material. On the other side, I'm not impressed with the Packers either. I'm just not. Matt LaFleur, this is a head coach we haven't seen do anything without a Hall of Fame quarterback. He had Aaron Rodgers his whole tenure as a head coach. Now we're seeing him really have hiccups here with Jordan Love. Jordan Love is not what he was advertised to be, the savior of Green Bay. He's looked pretty bad, in all honesty, in certain spots. This is just a game I just don't want to bet. I would lean Green Bay. I do think Matt LaFleur probably can dial up some stuff against this Broncos defense. I can see Sean Payton tearing things down here in Denver, then trying to build it back up in his image. This is still basically Nathaniel Hackett's team, I guess you could say. But, again, one of my least favorite games of the card. Probably not going to bet this game in any capacity. The lean, though, the official play for the video is the Green Bay Packers. I can see them going in the mile high here and getting it done. All right, next game up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers out on the road facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes versus Justin Herbert. Top 10 quarterback duel we got here. I think this one's going to go how they always go. Chiefs win, Chargers cover. That's just how this series always goes. And if it ain't broke, I ain't finna try to fix it. I'm taking the Chargers plus the points. The line has come down. It's now down to 5. I don't think it means anything in the grand scheme of things. Taking the Chargers plus the points. This is how I see this game playing out. I see the Chiefs winning it 24-20. And it's going to be the Chiefs are up 24-20. Chargers have the ball. Chargers are driving. 4th and 1. They go for it. They don't get it. Brandon Staley has that ugly look on his face like he always has on the sideline. And the Chargers lose in heartbreaking fashion like they always do. Have a legitimate shot to win it. Fall just short. Mahomes and company get the win. Don't get the cover. You know if you've been betting the Chiefs for the past few seasons, they are terrible against the spread team. They are still, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC. Probably going to get back to the Super Bowl. They are that team. But betting-wise, they're not that great for your pocketbook. You know that if you've been betting the Chiefs. Think they win this game. Think the Chargers cover. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give me the Chargers plus the points. Next game up, man. Sunday Night Football. I think this is one of the best games of the entire year, man. We got the Miami Dolphins out on the road facing the Philadelphia Eagles, man. This is a hell of a game, and I cannot wait to put my eyes on it. This is what I'm doing here. I'm taking the over. I think we have an absolute track meet. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the entire season, and I think it's going to be points. I really do. The weakest link for the Eagles' whole team, I think, is their defensive backs. And I think that's a major problem going up against the Miami Dolphins. We know what they can do offensively with the fastest guys on the planet. Hill, Waddle, A-Chain, Tua gets it to where he needs to go. Great play caller, Mike McDaniel. I think the Dolphins will be able to do what they do and run the score up here on a banged up Eagles defense as well, because I'm seeing Roby out and Blankenship out. So I think the Dolphins will be able to get theirs. But on the other side, I think the Eagles will be able to get theirs as well. This Dolphins defense hasn't been impressive to me this season. Hell, we saw the Panthers last week come up and put up 2 touchdowns back to back early on this Dolphins defense. I definitely think the Eagles will be able to move the football. They've been able to move it all season. I think we just get points, and it's going to be last team has the ball, has a shot to win it. I'm going to be honest. I lean Eagles. I question the level of competition for the Miami Dolphins. They haven't played anybody. The one team they played that was, a good team, they got stomped. That was the Buffalo Bills. They lost 48-20. All the teams that they boat raced are bottom tier teams in the NFL. Carolina, New York, Denver, New England. They haven't really played many good teams. So I lean Eagles, but I think the best play in this game is the over. Points. Worst unit on the field for the Eagles is their defensive backs. That's a problem going up against Miami. Miami's defense is not something we think about on the daily. It's the worst unit on this team. I definitely think the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones now, Jalen Hurts, of course, Devontae Smith. I think they'll be able to move the football as well. Points. Over for me. Eagles, Dolphins, Sunday Night Football. In our last and final game of the week, man, on to Monday Night Football. We got the San Francisco 49ers out on the road facing the Minnesota Vikings. This line has come down. Niners are now laying 6.5 on the road. I think the reason that news came down is because of the injury news. Deebo Samuel's officially listed as out. Christian McCaffrey still questionable, and Trent Williams is doubtful. So that makes this tough, man. Those are, 3 of the 5 best players for the Niners, right there. We saw them look really pedestrian when all those guys got hurt last week. We saw Purdy suffer his first loss as an NFL quarterback in a game he's finished. That's his second loss, technically, as they lost to the Eagles in the postseason last year. He got hurt, though, so that was the first game he finished that he's lost. The problem for me here in this game is on the other side is Kirk Cousins, and we know what this is. It's a primetime game, man. It's primetime Kirk Cousins going up against one of the absolute best defenses in the NFL, minus one of the best receivers in the NFL in Justin Jefferson. So makes it a tough spot for me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the Niners. I'm just going to hold my nose, and that's what I'm going to do. I understand they're probably going to be without McCaffrey, without Deebo, and Trent Williams. But I don't want to bet primetime Kirk Cousins going up against this Niners defense. I think the defense is going to have a pick six, maybe a sack fumble. Like, that's the type things Kirk Cousins does on standalone primetime games. And we definitely know the Niners defense is capable of causing those things. I think Purdy is solid enough to keep this offense afloat, even missing those 3 guys. I'm hanging my hat here on this San Francisco defense, creating some problems for Kirk Cousins on primetime, where we've seen him have a lot of his struggles in his career. I'm going to lean Niners laying the 6.5. I like it more getting under the touchdown. Give me the Niners. I'm going to lay the points. And that's going to conclude my NFL Jam session. I appreciate every last one of y'all watching this video, man. It really means a ton. Hey, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're looking for my best bets, the plays that I personally have the most money on, you can find those over at Pickdawgz Premium. There's a link in the description. Click it. Takes you right to my handicapper page. Man, there you can find my top plays. I have one of those every day. I have top plays. We've hit back-to-back in the NFL. This is the best thing to do. Hop on a long-term package, man. I offer 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, monthly, yearly, seasonal, however you want to do it. You can do it. And now is the absolute best time to do that. NFL going, college football, Major League Baseball postseason, hockey's back. And y'all know it's back on Tuesday, man. My bread and butter, the National Basketball Association, the NBA. And y'all know my NBA Jam session will be coming back right along with that. This is the absolute best time to hop on a yearly package, a monthly package, something long-term. You get every single play that I release daily for the amount of time that you get the package, man. So hop on with me long-term. Let's make some money. As you know, I go through every single NFL game right here for free every week, and I go through every single NBA game every single day on the NBA Jam session. It's just my favorite plays, the plays that I have the most money on. I have those for sale. So if you want to rock with me over there. If not, continue to tune in right here. I appreciate every last one of y'all, no matter how you do it. Let's make some money today betting the NFL and with the NBA season on the horizon, man. I love y'all, boys. Let's cash out. It's been y'all guy, Jay Briggs. See y'all when I see y'all, man. I'm out of here.